Welcome to Willie Farms. We're glad you joined us. Today we're going to do the second step of our smokehouse pickles. We've let them set for 14 days, and today being the 15th day, we will take them out of the bucket. We'll rinse them off real well. Then we're going to cut them in medium-sized chunks, and then we'll put them back in the bucket and cover them up with alum and water and let them set for 24 hours. So we're going to undo the top. Okay, so they've set for 14 days in brine water. They are going to be fairly soft. Some of them are more soft than others. Anything that you think is too soft, we will get rid of. We've still got several pickles in there. I do like them to be firmer. This one feels a little too squishy. So we'll just go through each one of them as we wash them. Some will explode if they're too soft. You know they're no good. Then we set them to the side, and then we'll cut the rest of these up into little chunks. As you can see, some of them are not as firm as others. This one is pretty rough. This one just totally exploded, so it will be no good whatsoever. So we will gently pick them up and wash them off real good. I'm going to put them in. I'm not going to put them over there. That was kind of falling apart. It may not be much good. So now we're going to dump our alum in. It was 2.5 ounces of alum. And we're going to add water and mix it, stir it real good so that when we cut the cucumbers up, then we can just go ahead and put them in and make sure. So we want to make sure we get the alum mixed in real good, and then we're going to cut the cucumbers and put them in, and we'll finish filling with water. And go ahead and put 1.5 gallons of water in. A 1.5 gallons of distilled water in with our 2.5 ounces of alum. Make sure it's mixed up real good. And now we're going to cut them up in chunks. I usually just cut off the end. I'm not crazy about that end piece. And then we just cut them in as close to the same size as possible. And not your finger. And some of them may not be good. You may have to throw them out. You just cut them and save the best parts that you can. You can cut them smaller than that. I've got them in slices. You can cut them in big chunks if you want, like quarters. The slices up, just however you want to cut them. Okay, now we've got all our pickles cut up into small chunks, and we've got them in our alum water. And we soak this for 24 hours. We're going to weight it down again to make sure that they all get in the water. Okay, now that we've got the pickles in the alum water mixture, and we've got them weighted down with the plate again and the lid on getting tight, we're going to wait 24 hours, and then we're going to rinse them really well. Alum makes pickles crisp by coagulating small particles, and some experts say you don't need alum anymore in your pickles, but we've been using this recipe for generations. As long as you rinse them off well, I think it will be okay, but you decide on your own. When you're mixing up your alum water, be sure and don't inhale the powder because it could possibly cause you some issues. The 24-hour cycle, we're going to rinse it really, really well so there won't be any alum left on our pickles, and I think we should be safe. And now it's time to do step 3. We're going to take the cucumbers out. We're going to rinse them off real well, get all the alum off of them, and then we're going to put them back in the bucket, and we're going to cover them with vinegar for 24 hours. And make sure you use 5% acidity vinegar. We're going to be using white vinegar in ours, and we're going to make sure it's 5% acidity. You can use apple cider vinegar if you'd like to. Just make sure whatever vinegar that you choose, it's 5% acidity. So tonight is step 4, the last step in our smokehouse pickles. We're going to drain the vinegar off, and then we're going to add 10 pounds of sugar. The recipe calls for a box of pickling spice. It doesn't say exactly what size. I don't have a box. I have a little container that is 2.2 ounces. So I think that's a little too much. And instead of using the whole container, we're going to use probably about half of it. We're just going to kind of eyeball it to see how much to put in. We've got cheesecloth. We're going to put it in the cheesecloth. Just wrap it up in a little ball. And we're going to wrap a string around it. So the process will be, once the vinegar is drained off, we're going to get all the pickles out of the bucket. We'll put a layer of pickles in. We'll put a layer of sugar. Then we'll put another layer of pickles and another layer of sugar. And we do that until all the sugar's gone. We then put our pickle and spice inside our cheesecloth. We tie it up with a string and we stick it down in the middle of it. And then we set and wait. In about 2 to 3 weeks, we'll test them out and see what they taste like. And they should be good to go then. So let's get started draining the vinegar off. So now we're going to complete the process of putting the pickles in. We do a few at a time. You put in the layer. My hands are going to be wet. And then we're just going to sprinkle some sugar over it. Cover them pretty good. We'll put a few more in. Well, there's a little vinegar left in there. And another layer of sugar. I know this looks like a lot of sugar. That's what the recipe calls for. And I can tell you they are very good sweet pickles. I have several people that want them. I have some friends at work. Oops, that's got a lot of sugar left. That will actually claim them when I bring them in. These are mine. Nobody else can have them. But she really likes her sweet pickles.
Need to put the thing in there now?
This is all that's left, so I'll dig a spot out in a minute. Ouch. Pour the rest of the bag over it. So I always want to make sure I get enough on the top, so I usually wind up having a little more left over on the top. Once this sugar sets for a while, the vinegar that was left on the cucumbers, it will dissolve and it'll make its own syrup after the sugar dissolves. Now then, we're going to put our pickling spice in the cheesecloth. It kind of looks like about half. Maybe a little bit more. Oops. And then we're going to tie it up with this string. Tie it one more time, just to make sure it stays tight. Okay, now we're going to dig a little hole out in the middle here. That's, I guess. It's already starting to get some juice going. I know that looks like a lot of sugar, and it is. But that's what it takes to make them sweet, like their recipe calls for. Now we put the lid back on. So tonight we've completed step 4 in our smokehouse pickles. We've drained the vinegar off. We put them back in the bucket. We put the sugar, the layer of cucumbers and the layer of sugar, and we put our pickling spices in. Now we're going to wait 2-3 weeks, and then the sugar will melt and it'll make the syrup, which makes it very sweet pickles. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this. And if you make these pickles, I hope you enjoy them as much as my family does. I have family and friends who fight over them sometimes. Bye, and God bless.
Alright, now you can do it all over again. I'll hit record now.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
You didn't record none of that?